Hello to a new video about how I make my movies, and today's topic is think before you shoot. Now this is probably something you can already kind of guess what it is about, but I think it is a very important topic to talk about. Oftentimes you just go into the world, experiencing things, traveling, maybe shooting videos all the time and for a long time especially, but then you come back and you want to edit something and it's just crap. And the main problem there is that you probably didn't really think about what you were shooting, and the second problem is that you probably have tons of footage, but it's really hard to actually go through all this. And the main problem there is that you probably have minutes and minutes of continuous shooting, and you want to find the right spots and snippets in that kind of long streak of stuff, but you cannot really do that because you don't have the time. And that is one of the struggles that I have faced before, and it's something that I actually kind of conquered during the last year of doing a couple edits. And by now I'm at a point where I actually can say that I can edit photos as well as videos almost on a daily basis, and it's pretty much easy and also fast for me. But there are a couple things you want to keep in mind to actually be able to do this. One of the main things, as mentioned before, is to think before you shoot, and actually giving yourself some kind of narrative you're going for, or some kind of style, some kind of vision you want to achieve by maybe watching at other videos that other people have uploaded, maybe even some creators that you aspire to kind of replicate their work or give your own twist on their thinking. Think about the structure you want to go for, maybe go through the world and kind of imagine how that would fit into your video. And one thing that helps me a lot if I do a longer edit, I kind of start editing while I still shoot. So for example, if I want to document a week-long trip, I start out with a couple days of shooting, and then maybe after 3 or 4 days I go into Premiere Pro, pull in my clips and start sorting, and then I can shoot additional footage on the next day or the day after. So I kind of get my fill stuff that I can put in between. However, if you do daily content, that is probably not possible, and you want to have that in your mind. So you kind of have to think about what you shoot right now, get different kinds of angles, get a low angle, get a high angle, maybe shoot the stuff with 2 different lenses, or maybe on a tripod or on a gimbal. So you kind of have this different kinds of shots, but then you have the problem of too much footage, and that you can battle with just making very short clips. So what I do very often is that I actually record for maybe 10 or 15 seconds only. So I have short snippets of things, maybe I have a pan movement or I move towards something. I put those 2 things in 2 separate clips, so I press record, then I make the move, then I press record again to stop the recording, and then I make the next recording, so I have every single take in a different shot. This is a whole different story if you have GoPro footage. With GoPro footage you cannot really stop and start between takes, especially if you do something like skiing or maybe water rafting. You don't want to just click and have one shot and then you want to like restart everything. That is really a hassle, and I would not recommend to do that. But you still have this kind of mark button on the GoPro, so you actually can mark the positions where you have the interesting stuff, if you have a chance to actually reach the GoPro on your body wherever you have mounted it. The other thing that is quite important is that you actually point the camera towards the thing that you want to shoot when you hit record, because in most editing programs you can actually see kind of the thumbnails of the videos, and those are probably taken in the first, like in the beginning of the clip. So you don't want to have, for example, the GoPro always pointing to the floor while you hit record, because that way you can see the screen. You want to actually hold the camera, hold it in a way that it actually points towards the thing you are wanting to shoot, and then you hit record, and that way you make it much easier for you when editing to kind of know what kind of footage you actually shot there. So these are a couple of short tricks and tips to kind of make your editing and shooting more of a pleasant thing. Think before, kind of make your plan, what you want to shoot and what you want to accomplish with a movie. Maybe even think about what you want to say if you are part of this kind of clip. Shoot very short clips in maybe 10 to 20 second length, so you can actually scrub through them very quickly and decide if it's a taker or a loser. And then also point the camera towards the thing you want to actually shoot, and that way you make it much easier for you to actually find the clips you want to use later on. If it's a longer shoot also, maybe you can go through the footage in between. Maybe you start out on day 1 with shooting, then you go through the footage, have a look, and on day 2 and 3 you can get additional footage that you can fill in between. That is a great way to make a video like this much more interesting. However, that doesn't really work if you want to do a travel road trip, for example, where you kind of want to keep the timeline correct. So those are my tips in this regard. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have any other ideas. Also in the description below I have a link to a playlist where I talk about all kinds of video and photography gear and techniques as well. And lastly, subscribe to this channel for more videos like this every day. I will see you in the next video. Make it your life and enjoy the sun. Bye.